Good evening and welcome to Feed Yourself Well, episode 8. Tonight we're going to do a Maryland Style Crabcake and happy Juneteenth. We're going to take that crab cake and build a fully dressed poor boy with it. So to get started, I'm going to tell you about the ingredients. We've got about 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise and 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. To that, I'm going to add a heaping tablespoon of Old Bay seasoning and 1 teaspoon of just regular lemon pepper seasoning. I'm gonna go ahead and put that right on in. I'm just gonna take a spoon and stir everything together. This is going to be the binder for the crab cake tonight. That mayonnaise is going to do the job. Instead of egg or anything like that, we're just going to use the mayo as the primary binder. The mustard and the seasoning is all going to bring some flavor to the table as well. Now, I've got 1 pound of jumbo lump crab meat, and I've got just 6 Ritz crackers. And all I'm going to do is just collapse them together and crush them up, because this is going to be the crumb that we're going to add to our mixture. It brings a little bit of salt, it brings a little texture, and it gives some place for that melting fat to go. So it gets absorbed into the cracker, and again, helps bind, helps hold things together. So there we go, we got our cracker crumbs all ready. They're gonna go right in. So we've got mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, our seasoning, and our cracker crumbs. Now all of this we're going to add to 1 pound of jumbo lump crab meat. I think crab cake should only ever be made with jumbo lump crab meat. You want those large pearls of crab meat just to toss together with the binder, and then we're going to bake them in the oven. You don't want to use a small mealy crab meat for this. So if you can see, we've got some nice flakes of crab here. I'm just breaking them up just a little bit, but not too much. And again, I like to overmix any dressings or anything that I'm going to use before, because I just want to fold it in. I don't want to build these ingredients in one at a time, and I'm constantly stirring until I've got a mush. Everything's just falling apart. So try to mix up your ingredients first, and then we're just going to fold, right? Fold right in to the crab meat. You see, I'm gently just mixing together. We want majority crab. I'm not a fan of diced onions or, heavens forbid, bell pepper in crab cakes. That's one of those flavors that's just entirely too strong and completely overwhelms the dish. It's not right for this one. Other things, yes, but not the delicate flavor of the crab. Okay, so we've tossed everything together, and that's ready to go. So I'm just going to take this scooper, scrape that off there. I'm going to move the bowl to the side, and I'm going to pull up a sheet pan. And all I've got on this sheet pan is just parchment paper. I don't need to spray it. I don't need to do anything to it. And I'm just going to shape and form my crab cakes right on there. I should get about either 4 really nice sized crab cakes, but since I'm building a sandwich with this, a poor boy sandwich, I'm going to see if I can get 6 out of here. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's barely hanging on together. That's going to be delicious. That's number 5. And perfect. We got 6 crab cakes here. That's number 6. And I'm going to add these last few little chunks of crab meat right on top. I'm just going to push them together gently And it's okay if they're soft and falling apart. They're going to be absolutely delicious. Oh, a little tap. Give them a little bit of shape, but still keeping everything together in that form. Let's get all the crab out. We're not throwing nothing away. And right on top there. Okay, so we got our crab cakes done. I preheated the oven to about 400 degrees, not 450. 450 for salmon. 400 for these crab cakes. I want them to cook quickly. It's gonna take about 10-15 minutes tops. The crab meat's already cooked. All we're really doing is letting the binder set, and we want it to develop some color. So right into the oven this goes. And we'll let those do their thing. So next we're going to build a Creole tartar sauce. This is gonna be delicious on the poor boy sandwich. So I've got in this bowl, I've got 3 to 1 on this one. I've got 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise and 1 tablespoon of Creole mustard. To that, I'm gonna add some capers. Now these capers are just little pickled flower buds. Really nice, unique flavor. Instead of relish in this, the capers really play well. You want to rinse them off when you take them out of the jar. Rinse some of that brine off, but it's still going to have that nice pickly taste to it. So I'm just going to give them a little quick chop. Nothing crazy. I just want to break them down a little bit so they open up and let that inner flavor out. And right up. Right in. Let's get these guys right in. To that, I'm going to also add half a lime that I'm going to squeeze the juice from. My trusty juicer. There we go. Some lime juice. And we're going to season it with a Creole seasoning blend. Again, once you use them in a previous recipe, I'm going to give you some options to use those ingredients again once you purchase them. And we're just going to stir this together. And it's going to come together to a nice tartar sauce. We started making this tartar sauce in a hotel that I worked in. Oh, it had to be the mid-90s. And we served it with everything. Fried fish sandwiches, fried shrimp on the side. It makes an amazing po' boy sandwich. So we'll set that to the side. Next, we're going to prep our bread. We've got a nice classic French baguette that we're going to toast. So I'm going to cut this into a couple pieces. I got this from a bakery, just not far from the house. So we're going to make a nice po' boy. Let's go about there. And we're just going to split it. Let's open them up. 2 pieces there. Remember the compound butter that we use for the steak recipe? It's going to do double duty, and we're going to use it on this po' boy sandwich as well. So we're going to take some of that compound butter, garlic, parsley, a little salt and pepper, and spread it right on top of our bread. I've got a warm skillet that we're going to put this in and let that start to toast, and then we'll build our sandwich. Nice compound butter right on top. Looking good. So these are going to go, of course, face down right into our hot skillet. All right, we got our bread in. We're just gonna let that toast for a minute. We're right at about just between low and medium low. You don't wanna be too hot. We don't wanna scorch it. While I'm over here, I'm gonna take a peek at the crab cakes. They're doing their thing. We're gonna prep the rest of our ingredients that are gonna go on our sandwich tonight. So, iceberg lettuce. Perfect for this guy. Very thin shreds because we want to pile this up. So we want very, very thin shreds of lettuce to go on the sandwich. Take your time. Don't just hack and whack away at it. Make sure you get it nice and thin, because it's just going to be awesome. It's going to be so tender. You're going to get just a crunch from it. So there's our iceberg lettuce. Set that there. Got a bowl here. I'm going to put that inside. And one thing that I like about po' boy sandwiches is that everything is usually very, very thinly sliced. We've got a tomato that we're going to slice as well. Again, thin slices. Let's take the heel off. You want to make about, for a po' boy sandwich like this, we want about at least 3 to 4 nice slices of tomato. So if you can see, I'm cutting them nice and thin so that we don't have a big hunk of tomato to bite in on the sandwich. We want it to melt into it and everything just start to become one together. Okay, so we got tomatoes here. I'm gonna set those to the side. I'm gonna save this piece, put that in the bowl. I'm gonna take a quick wipe off here, and then we're gonna go check on our crab cakes and see how they're coming. I got a paper towel. I'm kind of a fan of clean as you go. So periodically you're going to see me go in and out and take a quick wipe down. Okay, so Juneteenth today is all about 1865, the emancipation being announced on Galveston Island that the slaves have been freed from the results of the Civil War. Awesome. I hope it becomes a national holiday. It's overdue. I first heard about Juneteenth around 1989 when I was living in Houston, Texas. I just moved there and I hadn't heard about it before then. So after growing up in the Washington, D.C. area, living in Miami, going to school in Atlanta, I never heard about Juneteenth until the late 80s. So it's a big deal there. It was always celebrated every time, you know, you turned around. It was a holiday. I remember we would call off sick. We would do anything to get out of work that day because there were going to be barbecues, parties, all kinds of celebrations going on. So it'd be great to make that a national holiday. If it comes up for a vote, let's vote for it. All right, let's check the crab cakes. Almost there, picking up some color. Let's check our bread. Our butter's nice and melty. I'm gonna turn them over on the other side. I'm gonna toast that side a bit too, and then I'll flip them one more time. This is a day-old baguette. I purchased it yesterday from my local bakery just around the corner from my house. They do really good stuff. Classic European bakery. And back over. There we go. I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit so it can start to toast. And then we're gonna start dressing it, and it'll just be waiting for the crab cakes to come on board. Oh yeah, those crab cakes are coming right along. I don't want them too fast. I want them just fast enough to get everything done and ready. So we got our bread nice and toasty. We're just going to move this over to the cutting board, and we're going to go ahead and get our sandwich dressed. Okay, so I've got my nice toasted baguette. I'm going to take some of this Creole tartar sauce. Put it right down on both sides of the bread. That looks delicious. Can you guys see those capers? Good eats. Okay, so we got the bread ready. Head back, grab the crab cakes. They should be done. Then we're gonna move them back over and we'll put the crab cakes down. Then we're going to do our lettuce and tomato and get our sandwich ready to go. So let's get the crab cakes out. Oh, gorgeous. That took about maybe 12 to 15 minutes top in a 400-degree oven, so it doesn't take very long. Now I'm just going to lift the crab cakes off. They're still super hot. They may crumble a little tiny bit. I'm going to use an extra spatula to be my hands. come in. I'm gonna move that crab cake over here. I'm not leaving anything behind. I'm gonna get these guys with it. Oh, and let's get this nice crab cake right here off. Come on, crab cake. It broke a little bit, but that's okay. It's going on a poor boy. It's gonna be amazing. The remainder crab cakes, you can eat them. Let them cool down a bit. They'll be much easier to handle once they've cooled a bit. They're still piping hot, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started and head over building our poor boy sandwich. All right, so we got our crab cakes. We got our bread ready. And I'm just going to gently lift them. Breaking up a little bit, but they're good and hot. And put them right on top of our bread. I'm gonna move them in pieces. That looks great. All right. That nice hot crab. We're not leaving anything behind. I'm gonna build a proper sandwich. Nice. You see those nice big chunks of crab meat? That's why you wanna go with jumbo lump. Don't be stingy, spend a couple bucks. It's gonna be a great eating experience. Now, we just got our shredded lettuce right on top. And you probably think, why do I shred so much lettuce or do so much production? Because we all eat it. After the shoot's over, we all sit down and we eat everything that we make. So, tomatoes, nice and thin, right on top. I'm gonna use 3 on this size sandwich. Let's top it. I'm going to slice it. Get this out the way. And I'm gonna do it on a diagonal and just go right through. Because when you eat a sandwich like this, you want a nice point to bite it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite of this crab cake, Maryland Style Crabcake, and a New Orleans Style Poor Boy. Amazing. Absolutely delicious. Try the recipe, gang. You're gonna love it. Remember, subscribe, like, comment. We'll be off next week. This is video shoot 8, so we're gonna skip a week, but we'll be back the following week for the 4th of July. And we're gonna do fried chicken, potato salad, and we might even throw in a dessert. So we'll see what we got. Remember to tune back in. We're gonna be here. And always, always, always feed yourselves well.